On this next point of our journey, we stopped in Menton. Menton is the last city, French city, before you cross the Italian border. It's only about 50 minutes away from the border, and it's also about 15 minutes away from Monaco. Now, crossing into Italy was pretty easy, but it felt like we went through about 60 tunnels and bridges, which at the end of the day ended up giving both of us a massive headache. Getting to Pisa was straightforward, about 4 hour drive in our car. The road was clear, there were not too many people on the road, and getting to Pisa was also very unexpected how there were lack of people. And we believe that because at that point it was in May and that was still during the school year and there were not too many people already out traveling. Now Pisa, as many people have known and heard from and have seen pictures, when you actually get there, you realize that it is leaning a lot more than expected. And I don't think that it, continued to lean since the last time the pictures were taken. I just think that you can't really experience the full scale of the lean of that building until you actually see it firsthand. Now getting there again was very easy, straightforward. The space was very big, very empty and clear and beautiful to look at. There were multiple buildings on the property which we were not aware of, because every time you see a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you see the tower by itself like it's in the middle of nowhere. But it turns out there were actually other buildings on the property as well. Another way to look at really the degree of leaning of the building is when you're really at the base of it. You look to the left and you can see how the height of the foundation, and you glance to the right and you see how much deeper it is, which can pretty much swallow a whole human being. That really put everything into perspective. And when you walk in, that's also another time where it is most noticeable, because when you're standing at the center of it, you know that your body has to lean backward, and you look straight up and you see the building literally tilting over you. So you're pretty much kind of like leaning down as the building is leaning over you. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that although it's only a 251 step going up, because the tower is already hollow and leaning, they don't want everybody to bring all your suitcases, because people get there straight from the airport or on the way to the airport. They do not want you to bring all your suitcase and luggages up there. So there is a locker room where you can leave it and pick it up afterward when you get down. Now, 251 steps later, voila, you have arrived at the top. Now, I have to say, it is a magnificent view. In the distance, you can see there is a football field where in the bleacher it says Pisa. That was a beautiful space to get a picture of while standing on the Leaning Tower itself. As I mentioned that there are also other buildings on the property, the ticket that we purchased gave us access to the cathedral. Now, that was the only other thing that was open at the moment because it was still early in the season that the other buildings were not yet open. Now, the cathedral from the outside looked magnificent and it is immense, but when we got inside, we're also very speechless to how beautiful it was. After that, we sat down and got something to eat. That concluded our visit to Pisa, but that was not the end of the day for us. We still had about 3 hours of drive left to get to Florence, and also that was magnificent. We spent 3 days there and then we continued on to Milan. So consider subscribe, share, follow us to stay tuned and follow us on our journey as we make it all the way around back into France.